We are back on the scoreboard, continuing our sort of introducing the hosts, and myself being the field reporter. I'm Ben Roof, and we've got Brett Ferraro, our host. And I'm going to ask Brett a couple of questions about his history here in the Valley with his sports. So you went to Vail Mountain School, correct?
Yeah, so I grew up in this valley. Technically, I was born in Aspen. Don't hold that against me. But moved here when I was 4, spent many years in our local middle schools, and then eventually ended up at Vail Mountain School and did a bunch of sports for them. Played some soccer for 4 years there. I did Nordic skiing for 2 years, and then I did their telemark team for 2 years, the last 2 years of high school.
So tell me a little bit about the sports, specifically telemark. Let's just start there, since that's something that's a little bit unfamiliar to a lot of people.
Yeah, so I mean, people might know it here, especially being a ski town, what telemark is. But for those that don't know, it's sort of like alpine skiing, but you have your heel free from the ski. And in order to make a turn, you sort of need to do some lunges back and forth. It really creates a more dynamic movement in skiing, which I appreciate. And gives it a little bit more exercise. Also, it just looks really cool. So we would do that, and we would participate in a couple competitions with the telemark team, both just sort of racing gates on telemark skis, but we would also do these things called skin up, ski downs, where you would skin up, ski down, and then skin back up to the top of the run, and whoever made it to the top after the second skin up was the winner. And it was a very interesting competition, like no other skiing I've sort of done up to that point, and it's sort of become a lifelong passion for me. I started doing that.
So telemark and Nordic, was there like a lot of crossover between those two sports?
I mean, the skiing aspect for sure. Both of them have free heel skis, which makes them pretty similar. The only difference is one's going uphill and one's going downhill very, very quickly. But yeah, there was a bit of overlap. Nordic definitely helps me get comfortable with skiing with a free heel, allowing me to, really get into telemark when I went into it. But I loved my time with both sports. They're great activities that are sort of lifelong activities. I still Nordic ski a couple times a year, and I still telemark on the regular on the mountain. So.
What about soccer? Are you still involved in the soccer programs in the Valley much?
I would like to be more involved with the local soccer programs. We have such a great soccer environment here, great coaches, all the way from our youngest, the U8s, to all the way to our high school level. We have some of the best in the state. So I do want to get more involved with that. But no, I haven't joined any rec leagues locally here. Played a bit in college, not just for a club team, not D1 or anything. But I really enjoyed it. The team aspect of soccer has really helped me in my life, being able to work well with others and cooperate. So
piggybacking off of that a little bit, like how many of those, big lessons that you learned during your sports career in high school and in childhood that you've taken on to the rest of your life?
Oh, absolutely. So like a lot of just self-determination and grit, especially for Nordic and telemark skiing. Nordic, you just need to push yourself. If you want to be good, you just need to work at it consistently and with great gusto all the time. And it really helped improve my work. And then telemark, just grit, a lot of falling, a lot of getting frustrated with yourself, especially when you come from alpine skiing and you feel like you're a very competent alpine skier. To go to telemark, it's like learning how to walk again almost. But a lot of good grit was learned there, and you eventually get good and you find that it is more enjoyable almost. So with those two, it's helped me throughout the rest of my life for sure.
Well, and telemark skiing is a little bit more traditional skiing in a lot of ways than what we know as alpine skiing with the plastic boots and the lockdown heel. And
oh yeah, 100%. That's what 10th Mountain was sort of training on, to be able to move freely around the mountains, and it's very traditional, especially up in the Scandinavian countries. But definitely fell out of favor just because alpine I feel you have a little bit more control, and you can go a little faster. But it's still more fun, I think, personally, telemark.
So another question for you then is, tell us a little about your role here with the Scoreboard and what you do as part of our program.
Yeah, so being host, I sort of make sure that all of our great field reporters get out to all of the great sporting events here. I make sure they know the times and the places. I also go out and do some field reporting myself. You'll see me interviewing you if you're watching, and you'll see our great Ben as well. And then I, of course, just cut the show together and make sure everything looks nice and pretty. So.
Well, we definitely appreciate the leadership for sure, and the editing work, of course,
making
me look good.
Well, it's not difficult. We'll just say that then.
Well, thank you so much, Brett, and I would imagine that we've got a commercial break coming up here in just a second.